Hello again, and welcome back to Marketing That Converts. My name's Karima. I'm coming to you from Australia, and the dogs have decided to have a good fun with a bucket, empty bucket. Excuse the noise behind me. The topic of today's video is one that I really don't want to do, but I really have to do. The reason being is that I'm going to go to what I refer to as the Siberia of Facebook ad work, and that is to go into Meta's Business Manager. And why I call it the Siberia is because it's the place that nobody wants to go, and once you get there, everybody wants to leave as soon as possible. So just to backtrack a bit, what is the Business Manager? It's a section that paid advertisers, professional advertisers tend to use. It's up and above when you're doing ads just by using things like boosted posts, and which you generally do off a page, and that's got better and better boosted posters, but it's not somewhere where professional advertisers tend to hang out. And what the Business Manager allows is it allows for contractors to be brought in, employers to be brought in, and for them to be assigned various assets at their come here, Badger, sit on your mat, quick, come on. Various assets at their level, so that you maintain security, and it also allows you to maintain ad accounts and pages and give the various, as I say, the various security levels off. It's got other things in it like verifying domain names, and also just setting up your business information. If you are going to be doing professional business advertising on Meta, you must be using it. Even though you don't want to use it, you must be using it. So let's go in and have a look at one of my business managers. So each person's going to be allowed to have, each individual person is allowed to have, I'm saying up to 3, it might have changed. I saw something recently, I thought it was changed, but up to 3 business manager accounts. And it's always a good idea to have a couple. As you can see here, I have a couple of backups. So DOS is my main one where I tend to run everything out of. DVA is a backup, and Karima DOS Australia is another backup for various reasons, to do with the fact that if one ad account if one business manager tends to go down for whatever reason, or I want to compartmentalize off some work I'm doing, I can do it out of a different business manager. But most people will have only one, so they'll only have one up here. So this is the general menu that you will see, and of course you get to this by going to business.facebook.com. Getting there now is really problematic. I was talking to, I had to take, and this is where I feel really stupid at times when I'm doing this, because I had to take a client there the other day, and I said, right, go to business.facebook.com, which was great. It's automatically defaulting you now into this new Meta Business Suite. So if I go there, it's defaulting you now into this. And to get to the business, our old-fashioned business manager, and I suspect what's going to happen is eventually it's going to disappear on us. You go to All Tools, and you go down to, see, I can never even find it myself when I'm trying to look for it. I'm just going to take this percentage down a bit. I think it was this one, settings. No, that's not it. Try that one. There it is. So what you end up doing is you end up clicking around in all sorts of places trying to find where you should be. So let's get out of those now. It used to be very simple. You would just get into here. No longer is it simple. So what I tend to do is keep this open all the time. However, it needs, so let's start down here on business info. There's lots of things you can do. Setup guide, to be honest, I've never even really looked at it. Maybe that's half my problem. I wouldn't want to go in there because I think it's going to take me to the, wrong spots. So I always start with business information. And I do find, and I'll increase this percentage for you again, I do find that a lot of people tend not to bother to fill this out. It is really important that you do fill it out, purely because, think about it from Meta's point of view. If they're going to look into your account, they're going to go to a business manager and they're going to find no business details, no address, no phone number, no website, no tax ID, no history, no, nothing here set on, no name of who the person is that set this up, then they're going to think, well, what sort of business is this? And they're becoming shyer about letting anybody and everybody set up a business manager account and actually do paid ads onto their platform. The other thing that's really important here, other than all the usual things, if you're over particularly in the US and you're doing certain sort of advertising, like real estate, credit work, political ads, then you must have the business verified. I'm not, this particular business manager is not verified because A, it's a backup, and B, I just don't tend to work in those areas. Ad account creation limit, that's changed. It used to be about 5, so they've actually downgraded my account to that. Now, the other thing that's really important in Facebook is to have two-factor authentication on, and it should be for everyone. Every single person, a contractor, a staff person, yourself, other business owners, everybody that's getting access into the Facebook Business Manager, and therefore all of the Facebook admin, like the behind the scenes assets, not even as an admin, but as anything, needs to be accessing in via two-factor. Two-factor means they're going to be asked for a code when they try and access in. It's annoying. It's super annoying. Think about me, who's going in and out of various accounts all the time. But I believe, I have no proof for this, but I believe if you don't have two-factor on for everyone, that is the reason why a lot of bans are happening by Meta. Bans at the personal level, bans at the business level, bans at the ad account level, and bans at the business manager level. So you've got the hierarchy in Facebook is you've got a personal account. Sitting off that, you've got a business manager account. Sitting within the business manager, you've got ad accounts, and then advertising accounts, and then pages, and then Instagram and other sort of bits and pieces, which we'll go into. The other point of view is, particularly if you're a contractor or you're a business owner, it's important from both directions. So I'm a contractor, right? Let's say I'm engaged by ABC Business to do their work for them, and let's say I'm not legit at what I do. I've got a lot of bans happening against me. I'm getting a lot of rejected ads. I'm doing stuff that's really not right. Now, I don't, but let's assume I am. And let's say my ad account gets banned or my personal account gets banned, it can feed itself up. It can feed itself up into, you're going to cop it if they cop it. Depends on the severity, obviously. But if they're really copping things, then you potentially can get your whole ad account and your business manager and potentially your personal account shut down. And it works the other way. If you're the business manager, if I'm the contractor and the business manager, the business I'm working with has in the past done some very shady things, then I can potentially be at risk. So from a risk management point of view, you want everyone to have controlled by the business manager, controlled by two-factor, turned on for everyone, controlled by this setting here. So we're down here in the business info, controlled by here. And then there's obvious other things like, who is the personal account linked into this? And what do I can edit that name, so I can edit that name to be something completely different. So I can have some I can have some, what's the word? I can not be using my business name when it comes to sometimes looking for ad accounts. Security, two-factor is required. Control how you've set your login code. This one's important. Have a little sticky beak at that when you get in here. There's the code, which comes through from an authenticator app that's sitting on a mobile phone. But there are other ways, like you can get recovery codes, and this will be the subject of another video at another time, but there are some ways to get around this. So what I often hear is I'll have clients say, but I don't know what mobile phone number I had connected up to this. Then there are ways to get around that, but that's not the subject of today's video. Let's get back here. Let's hope it hasn't asked for the code. Thank you. So all of this is important. You need to look like a legitimate business. So that's that. Set up guide. Notifications. Well, notifications is obviously, you know, where do you get emails? Do you get notifications in the business manager? Do you get notifications where are you getting all of this sort of stuff? I have notifications set for everywhere, which means if something happens, I literally get bombarded by Facebook notifications, email notifications. I've got newsletters turned off. That's about the only thing. And program information turned off for this account because this is a backup. Pages, ad accounts, WhatsApp accounts, catalogs, pixels. I tend to have more notifications on than less. It's important too, if you're going to get locked out of accounts, sometimes these notifications are pretty important, because if you're going to get locked out, then the more places you can get notifications, the more places you've got options to be able to get back into your account. Kelly, come here. Good girl. And while you're here, take a note of what email has been used to set up this business manager. It may not be the email that you're using to set up your personal account. You might have gone in and given it a different email when you were setting up a business manager. So if you set up a business manager, I think you've virtually got to do it via MetaSuite now. Yeah, you got to do it via you tend to have to do it by Meta Business Suite. I will actually put these links in. To be honest, it's been ages since I've created a business manager, so I will actually put this link in the bottom of the video. Go to business overview, create account, enter the name for your business, set the business details, add people. So this is a rather good piece of, I actually do like Meta's help sheets. They're actually usually quite good. So I will put the link to this in the description of the video. So notifications, requests. Look, the request bit is really dodgy. I was working with a client yesterday, I think it was, trying to link into her business manager, link my business manager account into her business manager account, because I'm going to be looking at Facebook ads for her. And I know she sent the notifications because we were on shared screen, and I saw her send the notifications, and they never ever came in here. So this is really, really dodgy. And that's this is why I call this Siberia, because literally it took us, what should have been a 5-second job, took 2 Zoom calls and about an hour's worth of work. Because she sent the notifications, I just wasn't receiving the notifications. Eventually, you know, we just kept refreshing and kept sending them and refreshing, and nothing ever came into here. It eventually came in via, because I had notifications on for my email, it eventually came in via my email. And of course, then once I had then accepted the request to connect to her business manager, it then allowed us to go back to her business manager and then start assigning roles. Security center, this is just the same as where we were on business info before. Out of 3 people needed before they review people's access. I think that's because I've got 3 people connected to this. I have these 3. So when I say everybody there, everyone is required to turn on 2-factor. What this is saying is that it's saying 0 out of 3 need, because I have got 3 of the people connected into this business manager all have 2-factor on. Yes, as I say, it drives me insane. Oh, this is new. I haven't seen this before. You have at least one other admin in this business can help you to get locked out of your account. That is really good. So again, with business manager, make sure you have you as the admin and one other trusted person as the admin for that business manager. So this is new. I've never seen this before. Enter their email address. So I would put in my, it's not going to like this because this is another. So I think this one's already in. Okay, I'm going to come back and do that again later. So that's really handy. Even if you're in a sole trader, it could be your mum, it could be your brother, it could be your son, it could be your father, it could be your daughter, it could be just, you know, a really, make sure it's a really good trusted person. And I tend to put them up there as admin because without admin access, they really are going to be struggling to do anything much. But that is great. Always have a backup and have a backup business manager account and have a backup to that and have a backup person to that account. If you get locked out and you're the only one in there, you're in trouble. Payment methods. Well, this is obvious. When you are running ads, and this is such an old account that I haven't even updated the payment method, add a new payment method. So if I was to go now and run ads for any of the pages, any of the ad accounts connected to this business manager, I would get told I can't. I would get rejected ad probably. I wouldn't necessarily get rejected because you don't have the right payment method. Gee, I wish Facebook Meta would do that. They don't. They would just often it's just rejected. So, I mean, obviously, I don't have an up-to-date payment method setting in a backup account. Because I don't want this account to be hacked. Touch wood. I've never been hacked, but that wouldn't be the first time. Someone would say that and then get hacked 5 minutes later. I don't want a current payment method sitting in here. And when we're talking about payment methods, it's often a good idea to use a couple of payment methods to have a backup one. So if one account goes down, one payment method goes down, and it can go down to A because you just don't have enough credit on there, or you don't have enough, if it's a debit account, you don't have enough debit, or the bank gets a bit funny, and let's say you have never run Facebook ads, or you've only ever run Facebook ads for a few dollars, and all of a sudden you're spending $1,000 a day. What happens is your bank is going to start to block those payments. I finally saw the other day, I went into my bank account, I saw a notification, and it had asked me to verify a payment to Facebook of about 3 cents, like a month and a half ago, and I went, oh, I never saw that. It didn't matter because I actually wasn't spending that much money at that time, but these are the sort of things that can make your ads get rejected, and it's important to look at. Integrations, what apps are connected? I don't have any. Lead access. Manage lead access. You can control which people and CRMs can access your leads by customizing lead access settings. By default, all page admins are connected CRMs for that particular ad account can access leads. So when it says leads, it's when you're doing Facebook ads that are on Facebook lead forms. So, you know, the ones where it says you click on the, you know, submit your details, and you click on there and it asks for your email address and your name and your sometimes other information depending on how it's been set up. And you can actually sync that up to one of your CRMs, a CRM. Yeah, well, I don't really want to do that because I don't want to take that off. And again, that's probably not really something for this video. To be honest, I've only ever done this via ad accounts. I've never actually done it via the whole business manager. And then if I connected it to one of those there, it would come up in connected apps. Registrations, news pages. News pages you'd like to register. I've never done news pages. It's always interesting when you do these sort of videos because you find out the stuff you don't know. So, okay, well, there we go. Select the news pages you'd like to. Well, I don't have a news page, but let's say I did. If that's something you're into, well, then that's something worth doing. Okay, brand safety is fairly important because you've got to verify the domain to which you will be sending the ads. Now, it will be your Shopify domain. It will be, you know, most of you who watch my videos know that I run a Shopify site called kitcareMagic.com. It will be that. This is this is one of my domains on a on my SiteGround hosting that my business website used to hang off. Now hangs off something completely different. You must have verified the domain through, and again, we're not going to go into that in this video. And then you must connect the pages and the select asset type. You must connect the pages to it. Because you're saying that any of these pages are potentially going to be running ads across to this domain name. And if you want to know the difference between a domain name versus a website URL, versus where your website's hosted is, then I did a section of videos on that, and go and have a look at my YouTube channel. So you must have verified this. And again, I'm not going to go into how you verify it, because I do have another video floating around that shows you how to do that. But that's important to do. Block list doesn't have any block list manager. Block list name, block list stop your ads from appearing in places you don't consider safe for your brand or campaign. They can apply to Facebook in-stream videos, instant articles, and ads on Facebook Reels, as well as Instagram profile and audience network. Block lists can include pages and profiles as well as apps. You can apply block lists to some of all your accounts. The more you block, the more you limit your reach. So, do I really want to start blocking at a business manager level where my ads might go to? My answer to that is no, I don't, because I have strong faith and trust in the Facebook algorithm. And I hear lots of people say, don't ever send ads to audience network or to instant articles because they don't blah, 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 insert whatever their rationale is. Particularly the very early days in an account, I'll just choose all placements, automatic placements across everywhere Facebook's got available to it, and I will let the algorithm do its stuff. So would I ever use this? Probably not. Particularly not at a business manager level, because you can actually set placements at an ad level, and that to me would be much more sensible. Data sources are catalogs, pixels, offline event sets, event databases, custom conversions, event source groups, shared audiences, business creative folders. Catalog is pretty self-explanatory, and it's used by e-commerce businesses. So you've got an e-commerce store, whether that's on WordPress with WooCommerce, or whether that's on Shopify, or whether that's on a multitude of other platforms. There is usually the ability to create a catalog of your products. And we tend to use those in deeper levels, so bottom of funnel targeting in e-commerce ads. So in this case, the Shopify product catalog from, pretty sure that could well be the Pet Care Magic store, it may not be, is connected, and I've got one of my other profiles is being allowed to look at it. I haven't got any partners assigned to it. I'll talk about partners in a minute. So I can add people, I can assign partners, I can add items. It's taking me out to a commerce manager, which is now where all of that is stored. And this is where I find out what it actually is. I don't know what it is, because as I say, this is a backup account. The thing about Meta now is that it's got so deep, there are so many different levels, it's sometimes getting really hard to know what is what. The pixel. Okay, the pixel is set, it's created on the ads manager. It's a piece of code that goes and sits in the website. It doesn't store data, it just is a piece of code that says track what people are doing when they come to this website and feed it back to Facebook. So I've obviously got some pixels and some various pixels set up. Who has access to those pixels? What ad accounts are those pixels connected into? And I could add another new pixel if I wanted, but the pixels are actually created in the ad account. Offline event set, same thing. I can upload and manage data related to offline activities you want to track, measure, and optimize. Ads for and use for remarketing. So, you know, I could go into a customer list within a Shopify store and create an offline event set. Same. Deviate as an event, manage your events. This is all the stuff that we've looked at in other videos where we've looked at creating events and that sort of stuff at the ad level. So what you're seeing here in the business manager is you're seeing all of that in one place so that you can then start assigning who has access to it, who doesn't have access to it, what ad accounts are using it, what ad accounts aren't using it, etc. Event source groups. No longer use event source groups, so it's gone. Create a business asset group. Shared audiences. Again, you'll see another video where I did a video where I talked about building audiences. You'll see audiences I've built in another account, or I've built, or someone else has built. So maybe you've had material done, work done for you by another contractor or another agency, and they'll say, we won't give you the data, we won't give you the ads, but we will share the audiences with you. That would come up here. I do have shared audiences across some ads, some ad accounts, Pet Care Magic to Kayaka Voodle's page when I did it in my other business manager. Business creative folders. I haven't ever added one of those. Folder name, folder description, organized media associated with your advertising efforts. It actually will do this across, it'll do this in media when you're across in the ads manager as well. Data sources. All right, now we get into the nitty gritty. So before I do this, I'm going to go to users. So there's always people, partners, and system users I've never used. Probably would be good if you had, possibly if you had like business partners, you wanted to do it again. It's like within your business. What we tend to use as agencies and contractors is we tend to use the partners. So there are various ways to connect someone into your business manager and therefore give them access to ad accounts. The first one is just as a single person. You're connecting them in at their personal account level. So that's got a different email than I usually use, but anyway. So you're connecting them in at a different, at a personal, Facebook personal account level. Do I do that much anymore? No, I would do it if I had a person within my business. Let's say I've got an employee and they're going to be doing some ad account work for me, or they're working on my page, or they're working on my Instagram account. You hear a lot of people saying, how do I share my Instagram account with, with someone I want to post for me? This is how you do it. In here, that one person, they're not doing ads, they're just doing simple posting. They're just doing simple posting to your page. In the past, we used to go into the page and there was like add people, add roles, add people and assign roles. We tend not to use that so much anymore. At a professional level, we tend to do it all through here. The thing that's also done a lot through here, and this is if you're an agency, this is where to use, or if you're a contractor who has a business manager and you want more control and more top level professional access to a partner's account, this is where you do it. So what this is connecting at a business manager level. So if I go into here and I either give a partner access to my assets, so I'm sharing with them, or they're sharing with me. So the case I had in point the other day, a business is doing Facebook ads. They want me to go and assess the ads and then potentially take over control of the ad account and their ads for them. So I went in here to ask a partner to share their assets. I need their name, their email. The email as registered for the business manager. The name is not so important, but their business account ID, which is the one that you will find here, that. is what you'll find. Now, this is why I call this Siberian. This is where we got caught up the other day. So I sent across, what did I do? I was asking the partner to share their assets. So we started with them trying to share their assets with me, all on a shared screen. That didn't work. So then I went to here and tried to get them to share. I asked them to share their assets, and that didn't work initially. We started to set it up. We got a whole lot of error messages coming up at us. Luckily, the business owner had to go away to something, and we let it sit for 2 or 3 hours. Often not a bad technique when you're dealing with this sort of stuff on Facebook. Think about the volume of data that's going through their servers. Sometimes it's just a case of just wait and give it a chance. The other thing I do a lot when I'm stuck on Business Manager or even on setting up ads is I use this refresh button a lot. Sometimes it's really helpful. So in her particular case, I got her to do one step, refresh, another step, refresh, another step, refresh, and eventually we got there. So, you know, what role do they want to come into? And this is where it's really strong. This is not so much brand or business, media agency, other type of partner. That's all a bit. I suspect that's more just for them, for Meta to collect data about who's connecting and how, sort of thing. The role is very important. Do they want to be a media agency? I've never used other type of partner, so I don't know what that means. I tend to always go in as a media agency. So once you all fill out, theoretically, when you do that, it's going to then allow you to request the asset types. So there's a case of connecting. So there's various levels. You connect one business manager to another business manager or a personal Facebook account to your business manager. And then you say, get the connection up, and it'll come up that says, so under partners, it will say assets shared with you. Obviously, this is my backup account. So I've got lots of assets on my other business manager, which is DOS, shared with DVA, so that I've got backup to stuff. And that if I was sharing stuff out, if I've got something sitting in DVA, like I've got a pixel here, and I want to share it across to DOS, which is here, that's going the other way. If I had a client sitting in here, it would be client name over here, ABC Business, and I would go in here and I would find out what assets they've actually shared with me. And that varies depending on what you're going to get them to do. Obviously, if it's not e-commerce, you don't need catalogs. If they don't have a catalog set up, you do probably need, you know, at least a page, at least the ad account, the pixel if it's at the very early setup stage and you need to see what's happening with the pixel. The domain you don't if their domain is already set up and fine and you don't need to go in and do anything to it. Partners. So as you can see, these are my two other business managers. And that one is just like a business manager. There's not a lot set up with it. So that's people. And then, so you've got the person. And within each person, you're going to see what assets have been assigned to them within this business manager. So within this business manager, these assets have been assigned to me. And there's lots of, like, I can't even understand what I've assigned to where half the time. There's a lot of crossover and backup going up. But, so add, and if I wanted to add another asset, let's see if there is an asset I can add, probably not. Classic pages, no, there's nothing I can add that isn't already added. So when you're doing like control of the page to just someone who's going to be posting content for you, this is a better place to do it. These are all added, so they're grayed out. So you would go in here and say, that's within this business manager. That's not within the partner account. Within the partner account, and I know I'm not explaining this terribly well because this is a really confusing thing to say, to explain. So we've got pages. So you've got a person. So you can't add a person to a page if they're not up here in people or partners, right? If they're not added to that business manager account as a person back at that business manager account, then you're not going to be able to find them in pages. So I've got pages. Let's pick a page, one of them. DOS owns this, which is my other business manager. And which people within these people are allowed to access this page, and what are they allowed to do on it? So this is where all the levels of control come in. What are they allowed to access on it? And so let's, God forbid, say that you have a problem with a contractor. You have a problem with something someone's doing. This is where you can go in and very quickly dump them off. This is why the controls on this are so important. So that's all the various pages, a different page, different people assigned to it, another one of my pages and another one of my pages. And there's about 6 of those. There's about a dozen other ones that I don't actually have in here. So without the people, so you've got to do you've got to get people or partners first to connect, either business manager to business manager or personal account to business manager, your business manager. Then you've got to go in and assign them to those people to which page under whatever your level of access you feel comfortable with. Then you've also got to go into, if they're going to do paid ads for you, which people, this is a personal, this actually shouldn't be in here. This is actually a personal, this is running an ad account via a personal Facebook profile. And honestly, I say to people, don't do that anymore. I probably should remove that. That's, again, I can't prove this, but I think that's why a lot of people end up getting ad accounts shut down and then eventually personal accounts shut down. You cannot argue if Facebook goes in and you've done a whole lot of ads via just your personal account and it's a whole lot of really heavy business stuff. Facebook are not going to like it. They want everybody to use this sort of setting where you're doing it via a business to business or business to Facebook. So which people have access to this ad account? I can add people. What do I want to assign them at? Full and assign. What I found yesterday too is that on the partners, if you go in and share assets and you're trying to share a page and an ad account, so if you click that one and you tick this one and you tick this one and blah, 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 and do a whole lot and then assign as you're going and then try to save changes, it just doesn't like it. So you're probably better off to do this a slower and steadier way, which is one at a time. So, and down by here. So pages, who has access to it, ad accounts, who has access to it, and again, at what level do they have access? Business asset groups, theoretically, it allows you to connect assets, people, and permissions all in one page, all in one place. I've had limited success with that. I really have. It just tends to be as glitchy as hell, and I give up and I go back to doing it individually. Apps, I don't have any apps set up. If you've got apps set up, that's a very specialized area, then you would add them here. Instagram accounts. There's one Instagram account, and these are the people connected to it. These are the partners connected to it. And these are the ad accounts connected to that Instagram. So again, I see a lot of posts which people say, I can't access my Instagram because they want to do ads on it, or they want to, there's a lot of connection up now between Instagram and Facebook on various things. This is the problem. If you can't access your Instagram account, then you've got to go into your business manager add the Instagram account. Connect your Instagram account. This one, which is a different one to the animal messenger. And I've got two-factor set up. So I would need to go and grab my two-factor. So the Instagram has two-factor over and the top of the two-factor for the business manager and the two-factor for the Meta account. So I would put in that, confirm, and then it would show up here. And I would be able to say, I would be able to click on it. It would be down here. I'd be able to click on it, and I would be able to add people to it, or assign partners, or or connect other things, or add other assets. WhatsApp, same principle. I don't have any WhatsApp accounts yet connected. What's the phone number? I don't know what my WhatsApp is connected to. To be honest, I don't use WhatsApp very often. No bad reason. It's just that I haven't got enough platforms to deal with. Australia. This is a guess that I think that WhatsApp is now. Okay, well, there it is. This is why I don't use WhatsApp very often, because I can never remember what number it's connected to. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not a phone person. Okay, could be because it doesn't like the 0. Okay. This is about the point where I usually go, too hard, I couldn't be bothered. Let it go. What's the advantage of having a WhatsApp connected? In some ads you can run, you can actually get them to be talking to you, to be connecting with you on WhatsApp. Associated device. I thought I had, but anyway. So I would have to go to the device, check the WhatsApp settings, install it, fix it up, add it here. So I'll just show you. I'm going to show you when you've actually got so this is like a partner. No, it's not connected via an ad. It's connected via an ad account. So no, I'm not going to show you that. So this is the one that I said was like the personal. Please don't use it. Do not do ads via this one, apart from the fact that the credit cards expired. This account overview always annoys me because we used to be able to get in here quite easily. Now we can go in here and go straight to campaign manager, or we can go back down here and go to settings. They have literally changed so much around on this back end that it's really hard now to find out what's where. I just wanted to go into Meta Business Suite. Let's see if I can go into there. There, this one. So the Meta Business Suite, what we used to have is we used to have the business manager, so personal Facebook account, pages, ad accounts, pixels, all the usual stuff, people connected in. And then at some stage in their infinite wisdom, Meta decided to put this Meta Business Suite in between the personal accounts and the pages. If you remember back in the, not so long ago, you'd go into your personal account and you would actually, I think this has got 2 factors, so it might not let me in. Yeah, so you'd go into your personal account and all this was different, and you could actually just add a You could, add a add a page, add a group. You could add a new group. You could create a group, create a page. They've put in this business suite, and they've put a whole section. They've separated out all of the pages. The pages have become like a profile in their own right, which is all this stuff up here now. To be perfectly honest, I still find it confusing as hell. I honestly do. I really do. And I still struggle at times to navigate around to actually get to the pages, and I still struggle at times to just easily share something from my personal news feed across to a page I manage. It's become very difficult. But well, what can we do? It's a free platform. We've just got to roll with the punches. So I still can create a new page from here, and I'm in Facebook now, but I can also go into Meta Business Suite, which I've somehow managed to get out of. It's just become very, very convoluted, and honestly, I can't help you with that. I can't help you navigate this. You just need to do what I do all the time, which is just start clicking on things and seeing where it takes me. So they're now separated across all the pages. So, and they've become entities within their own right. This all tools seems to be something I'm using quite a lot. Like last night, what was I trying to do last night? Very quickly change the header image on, it was on this one. No, it wasn't even on that one. It was on, I can't remember where it was on the other day. DBA. I mean, all of this, mind you, yours is not going to look as complicated as this, because I have various connections going on and various business managers connecting to others. I can't remember where I was trying to change the header image. But like, it used to be really simple. You'd have the header image up here on a page, and have it like change image, like bang. It literally took me 45 minutes to find out where I could go to change the header image. So my only tip I can give to you is use this all tools quite a lot. No matter where you are, go down to this all tools, and this seems to be the way that it's connecting back into what we were more used to. But it's still messy. Like, they'll go into events. So page, this is the old page settings. So I ended up back in here, but it was still not what I was used to looking at. So I did another see all. So that's literally all you can do. You just got to keep going in and going in and going into all of these various convoluted ways they've got it now, and keep fiddling. I'm sorry that's not a good answer, but that's the answer we've got right at the moment. It has become extremely convoluted. And of course, the fact that you tend not to do that, a thing like change a header image all the time, it becomes very very difficult. So what they're doing, obviously, too, is that all of this is moving much more into the paid side of it, rather than just the straight out business, straight out the paid ad side of it, rather than just the straight out business, the straight out business page accounts. See, half the time now I can't even look at how to get back into profiles. Manage page, right? I'm back into the profile. So I end up clicking on all sorts of things. It has become, over the last 2 years, incredibly convoluted. All right, so clear as mud, I am sure. I would really like to say I hope that's helpful. I know it hasn't been presented in the way in which it is that super clear. Honestly, if you're really stuck, get on to one of the people who are working on Facebook, like a Facebook professional, someone like me, pay them, half an hour's worth of money or an hour. In my case, that's like half an hour is like 25 bucks. Get on a shared screen. We will work you through it. That's easier than trying to navigate your way through this mess that is the back end. So as I say, I'm now going to leave Siberia, thank God, and I'm really happy to do so. I'm the first to tell you this hasn't been a terribly good presentation, but it's the best I can do on a system that is extremely convoluted right now, and let's hope it gets better sometime soon. So with that to do, I'm going to